Hey guys, it's Kusi. Welcome back to the 8th episode of trying to make sense of Sanguine, as it just keeps out-healing everyone in this 0 to hero 0% death and decay usage playthrough. In the last episode we got our feet wet with blood as we embarked on the sheer impossible journey of outplaying Sanguine. And while we had a few successful runs, we also had some disappointments. Specifically, the quickest RP today. Yet in this episode, our luck is about to change. We move up the rating, while also moving forward towards our goal of timing every key on +10. This includes a few fan favorite dungeons, in which I occasionally got hard carried.
You're joking.
I know, I was also surprised it could happen.
Stop the cap!
Also, a few of those dungeons were recorded while streaming, so don't mind me promoting my own Twitch channel like a sneaky rat. Disregarding, this episode marks the second part of the Cursed Sanguine week, so if you're ready to see some mad healing from this super awesome and giga cool affix, then make sure to leave a like, and if you're new here, consider subscribing, as this will make sure you won't miss another upload in the future. It also slightly helps me out.
Huge
help, actually. And without any further ado, make sure to grab a drink, get comfy, and enjoy episode 8, The Return of the Nosebleed. Oh man, what an ending to the last episode, right? Sanguine took us to the wood shack, but that's not necessarily how the dungeon ended. Without actually meaning any harm, I said that Sanguine didn't get managed proper, which led to us being so far behind in time. And that counts for all of us. Our tank got a bit touchy though, felt attacked, which was funny. He tried to make me understand how hard it is for him to move the targets out, as they are slowed and some of them are stationary. The slow part isn't true, as neither Frost Decay nor Arcane Mage or Hunter got any slows by default. The stationary mobs are true though. That's pretty much why I never said you played Sanguine bad, but just that it got played bad. DPS should really try to nuke the casters or archers first, as those are pretty rough to move without having any chance to line of sight them. In all fairness though, as rough as surviving in Brackenhide as a tank on fortified is, one should spot dying targets and make sure to move them before it happens. Be proactive with the movement, don't start moving once the puddle spawn. Now then, I'm not gonna sit here and argue about that. The overall issue was Sanguine, doesn't matter which fold it was. And so I once again left with a key I need to push in order to get more tents going. So that's what we're doing. 8 Brackenhide, cause let's face it, 9 doesn't matter. And with that, we are finally able to invite Frost Mages again to the party. No Sanguine means slows are welcome again. So we rock a juicy little pre-made party, as well as a Holy Paladin, and without dried out Nosebleed on the ground, Bracken is only semi-annoying, still fortified. But we zoom to the first part. Though I did make sure I'm on the board when it comes to deaths, not willingly though. Got melee clapped for 700k and half a mil. I wish Guardians would have a little more initial aggro on the Thrashers. And even though we railed the nasty looking Jonas brothers, we still experienced a world first when it comes to my personal WoW experience. My first ever bug split. Wild to think that I'm in this abusive relationship for this long and never had to deal with being kicked out like that. Disregarding 2 chests, which brings us to our next +10. RLP. Yeah, remember that one? I do. Still burns in my chest, yet this time I wasn't in any mood to mess around. Instead of picking the guys with the highest gear score ratio, I trusted. You see, after I invited this Portuguese priest, another Portuguese applied, which led to that one to suggest invite one of his friends, a Vengeance, also Portuguese. And so I was ready to pull all my trust in those handsome and tanned 3 boys that probably drown in poos, as I was to embark on yet another journey of Ruby Life Gamble, +10. I had to sit up straight for that one, as my personal mission was to not only use grip for Tectonic Slam, I also had to have grips for Sanguine, which begs the lifelong question, how the hell am I supposed to do that?
I don't know, Jeff.
Followed by my question, why didn't I spec into Death's Reach to help me out with this crap?
I don't know, Jeff.
I legit saw the talent at the end of the week. Seriously, on Sanguine, consider taking it. I haven't tested it, but if it's like other spells that also trigger from dying enemies, like Harpoon on Survival, it should reset on kill. Seems awfully convenient for this week, don't you think?
Yes.
But just to stay on brand of my Muppet reputation, I didn't have that. I don't choose to be this dumb, believe me. We did a juicy pull, had Sanguine only healing 25 mil, had 1 death to the one-shot stomp, and we didn't disband. Already progress. I legit would have loved the grip reset here, as I really tried to grip every dying mob away from the big stone turret as much as I could. Yet besides 2 mishappens, we sent waves towards the bottom half of this dungeon, showing Meledrusa that she is exactly that. the bottom. And would you believe me when I tell you the upstairs part went horribly wrong to a point where we had to disband?
Yes.
Psych! We got through it almost without any issues while also skipping one Drake in a puck group. Imagine that. But would you believe that after this performance, we didn't have anyone dying on 420 Blazehoof? No? Yeah, there's always one casualty, I guess. But apparently the most worrisome is to come. The final mini-boss, High Channeler Rivati, or as I call him, HCR, with Sanguine is a bit of an oof moment. Takes even longer this week, which isn't necessarily easier as one could imagine.
Oh really?
And after multiple attempts, because this is the second attempt, we finally managed to get this absolute fever dream of a key time for our third portal of the series. Boy oh boy, am I happy with that. It even gets better. Our party decided to stay in for one more, as our lovely Portuguese people enjoyed the taste of victory. So they invited us for a sightseeing through Neltoros 10. A key I absolutely want, as it's still one that I need to get done on 10. So let's move there. And while we ride to the African American Dragon Shrine, let me tell you a little story about the white dude from Germany and his streams. Hoi! Let me quickly remind you that we are on the road to 10k subscribers on the YouTube, and if we manage to achieve that goal, we will have a 24-hour stream of Torment with a face cam and a potential Pink Panther onesie.
Oh my god, I love it! I love it!
You heard me. So if you watched this so far without subscribing, I mean, come on, do the magic, make it happen. Also join the Discord for future stuff in the War Within. Now back to the video. Now then, I was quite confident in our ability to potentially time this, as we didn't goof as much during the Ruby key. And for a change of scenery, we went towards the right side first, which is a bit weird considering it doesn't make sense to use Bloodlust on the first trash pull on Fortified, and the left side is better suited for that. But I absolutely believe in our Iberican tour guide, and so we made our way to the Chain Daddy 69XX, while already warming up the chain gameplay a little bit with them racks. Watching the replay, I was uncertain on how we had so many deaths already, considering the pulls were quite tame. But apparently our tank died, and while I came to the rescue with the clutch instant CR, it was still too late for our pink and blue ranger. But at least that explains the few setbacks as we arrived at the first boss. And if there's anything I learned from this boss during this expansion, it's how to cheese things. For example, me or the DK, I just used Death's Advance to negate the knockback and AMS to reduce incoming damage once I get targeted with the chains. You can just run through him instantly, since you don't lose time during the mentioned knockback. Quite nice. And believe it or not, your boy was putting in the work. 280k overall in a single target fight is not too shabby. Yet after this boss, I came to a very unpleasant realization. Neltoros on Fortified with Sanguine is arguably worse than Brackenhide. The insane amount of trash one has to deal with in this dungeon is easily in the league of its own, because it took us legit 9 minutes to go from one boss to the other, while not even clearing 40% of the trash boy. It's almost stupid to a degree. And then our tank decided to ask the question that would trigger another World War these days. No. And we all knew what to do. Be boys. You know what feels super bad? If you're the last surviving DPS but still the lowest on the meters. Looking at the remaining time, one would think it's going quite well. But may I remind you, we started on the right side. Means we got the burning obese horse waiting for us, just to take even more time off the clock. But first, we need to do more trash. I'm telling you, the amount of trash in this dungeon is stupid. Or as we say in German,
soll ich dich mal ganz kurz gegen die Vitrine werfen?
Magma test down, barely 5 minutes with still at least 2 trash pulls for another boss. This is a doozy. I quickly called for the double pull and asked for last 2, which got used rather late. But then of course, I had a choke. I forgot those kettle dudes spilled their lava on the way down. Man, I hate having short legs. We had about 140 for the boss, no lust, but all cooldowns. So let's send it. 17 seconds overtime. Surely one could say those 22 deaths had something to do with that, but I only thought about the last 2, cause they were mine. If I didn't have to walk back to the party, we saved some time. If I didn't die like an absolute amateur to the clearly super easy to spot visual on the ground, we could have timed it. 17 seconds, man. And the worst is, I need to do this shithole again. This is no bueno. A bit defeated after this, yet still in a solid mood.
For what? Why?
Because the key I received from the Ruby earlier was a Nokkut. Another one I needed for rating, and another one that isn't too crisp for Fortified with Sanguine. So of course, we are doing that. This is also the first key I was streaming, which technically means that whenever I die to dumb stuff now, it's because I was reading chat.
Okay.
Yep, I was reading chat. Quite often actually. And yeah, that was my no cool man. First key on stream, didn't do shit, and I read chat a lot. This felt ass, dude. I was so confident to show you guys what's good while playing live. Turns out, I'm giga ass. From this key though, I did receive a ruby life pools again, which I had on 10 already, so I decided to give the people what they want, and quickly made the downgraded +8 key a community key. Considering it's already done on 10, surely this ain't boosting. I think those 2 DPS were perks, not sure. But with that 3 chests, we do yet have another key to our disposal. That seems quite juiced, as this is a community favorite this season. Azure Vault baby. And don't worry, this is again done with a solid pack group. Hence why I put the baby picture of mine onto the screen. Not only did we got ourselves a Pew Pew Shaman, we also got ourselves a Prot Warrior. Maybe the last of its kind. But here's where things got a bit messy. First, your boy was pumping, as per usual. And even though I usually do my utmost best to interfere whenever those Crystal Furies do their shard toss, I kinda needed Death Grip to pick out the ones that were close to dying, so Sanguine would do less. Didn't work sadly. And because of that, we overstacked on shard tosses on the tank and had a lot of deaths right away. I was already defeated, man. No way we continue this run after that start. But yes way we did. Giga Chat Party, I'm telling you. Coming up with a solid amount of 9 deaths on the first boss, we had to put in some work. While I talked about how easy this boss on Fortified is, I did not take into account how efficient mind controlling those ghosts are on this boss. Especially if you have 1 or 2 stacks up on the boss during the storm. Yet towards the second boss, you best believe your boy always had cooldowns up on the gripper. This is actually where it came to my mind that there's in fact a talent for grip resets on pull. As you might expect, I still didn't have that picked yet. But we're gonna deal with it regardless, and while expressing your sexuality is against the law in many countries, our druid didn't make a fuss about the fact that he enjoys taking balls to the face. These gamers staying in the key besides what happened early on also sparked a conversation with the few of you that hung out with me that day. So let me ask you, did you experience early rage quits in key lately? I'm talking season 4 specifically. Let me know, since besides those 1 or 2 angry people I get every now and then, it's usually very peaceful. Back to the dungeon though. After the rough start, we managed to make some good time when arriving with over 12 minutes for only 2 more bosses. Graving also got cooked by the DPS, well, by the Shaman and myself. But now comes the hardest boss in the game.
Stop the cap!
Comfortably almost 10 minutes for this one. So if we just kill the shards without getting spooned, we should be... Oh man, guess we lacked some focus here. No problem, another attempt, surely we can... Oh man, are you kidding me? This boss on Fortified? This is rough, man. Another pull, the third one, and we had merely 6 minutes, which is enough time. So this time I only focus on the shards. I used all my cooldowns in the beginning for the chance to have it up on the final set of shards again, and we barely killed the first hardened shard there. The second set went a lot cleaner, mainly because of the killing machine proc luck if you ask me. So I clenched my ass for the final wave of his turrets.
What do you mean by that?
To eventually, finally, time this key in the end. No one asked for it to be this close in the end. This now means we have 5 portals done, but as this marks the end of Sanguine week, we end the episode with an item level of 514 as well as a score of 2500, which means KSH baby. But we all know it doesn't end here. So as always, I wish you the most fantastic day whenever you see this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one, potentially the finale. Peace.